Question 4b. So figure 2 shows the circuit with two identical filament lamps, and the question asks us to compare currents I1, I2 and I3, and it's worth 2 marks. So 1, 2. We need to say two things about it. Okay, and the two things about it are that I1 here, if we can imagine, if that's, and you can put numbers on this, it helps. So if that's 4 amps, this might be 3 amps, and this therefore might be 1 amp. Okay, so what we know is that I1 splits into I2 and I3. So the two things I'd say about this is I1 equals I2 plus I3. Okay, is a sort of an important statement there. So that tells us that those two must be different. We also know, hang on a minute, sorry, two identical filament lamps, oops, got that wrong, haven't I? Means these two currents must be identical as well, because they're identical filament lamps, assuming the wires don't have any resistance, which we always assume. So I1 equals I2 plus I3. We also know that I2 equals I3. And I could even write there assuming no resistance in wires, or the same resistance in wires. Okay. Part C. Calculate the charge that flows through the cell in 1 minute. It's a calculate question. So we're going to calculate the charge that flows through the cell in 1 minute. Each filament lamp has a power of 3 watts and a resistance of 12 ohms. Write any equations that you use and give the unit. Wow, it's a 6-mark question. This is a lot of marks here. Now obviously in June 2023 you'll be given equations, so you don't need to worry about whether you have the equations or not. So the equations we have for this are, also the things we know. So we know, let's just write down our variables down here at the side. So we've got power is 3 watts. We've got resistance is 12 ohms. We've got time is 1 minute. I'm definitely not going to leave as 1 minute, so it's 60 seconds. Okay, so that's all the information that I've been given, and I need to try and find Q. So the equations I'm going to use for this are going to be, so I know that power is equals V times I. Is that going to help me very much? Okay, yeah, okay, so, and I also know that V equals I R. So I'm going to replace this in here, so I'm going to put that into there, so I'm going to put power is equal to I squared R. So I've got power, which is 3, so I'm going to just put a line down there, because I'm going to have a little bit of space here to do some calculations. So I've got power is 3 watts equals I squared, resistance is 12 ohms, so I squared is going to be equal to 3 divided by 12, so I is equal to, that's 3 divided by 12, that's going to be 1/4, isn't it? So is the square root of 0.25. So square root of 0.25 equals square root of 0.25, try that again, is 0.5, so the current is 0.5 amps. I know that Q equals IT as well. The charge is the current times time, and I know the current now is 0.5. I know the time is times 60. This gives me a total charge of 30 coulombs. Okay, remember my units as well. Wow, this is a bit sneaky, isn't it? Because now I thought I'd finished, but actually there are each filament lamp. So there are 2 lamps. So actually the total, each filament lamp has a power of 3 watts, so it should have been a power of 6 really. So that gives a total, so total Q equals 2 times 30 equals 60 coulombs. So this is a hard question, and this is a higher level question, one of the hardest questions. So we've got 60 coulombs. Okay, 60C. There we go. I forgot this equation here. I had to work it out using these 2 equations. And if you're unsure about that, so I've got equation 1 here, equation 2 here, and all I did was just to write, well, equation 2 into equation 1 gave me that. The key bit though really for me was to write down the values I had here, and because of that I could work out that I had P and I had R, therefore I could work out I squared from that. Okay, hope that helps.